Alright, so let's start with the basics. My full first name is Michaela, but no one really calls me that unless you're my mom and you're mad at me. She's gonna be like, Michaela! But anyways, everyone always called me Mikai, so you can call me Mikai, and it's nice to meet you here. I am 29 years old. I am a proud Pisces. I am a mother. I was born and raised in a province in the Philippines, but currently I'm living nomadically. I've just been jumping around and haven't really found home yet. Yeah, I currently work on ceramics and share them here on YouTube. Growing up, my mom exposed us to a lot of films, art, and music. My family would always have a camcorder ready and would shoot anything, and they would let us hold the camera, play with it, and shoot ourselves. And I remember we would actually watch those videos of ourselves during family gatherings and just reminiscing on those moments from when we were younger is such a good way to bond. And I think that is what has influenced me a lot. Even before I started posting and sharing here on YouTube, I would document my days, even on different forms like journaling, scrapbooking. I love scrapbooking. I had a lot of diaries growing up. I wasn't really the best at expressing my emotions when I was a child, and so being exposed to art has been a huge thing, helping me understand and make sense with all these emotions inside me. I loved it when I would see art and would resonate with it. That instant connection wherein you don't really need words, but you know that you are understood and that you're not alone in whatever it is you're feeling, or seeing art and feeling all giddy and inspired and happy just because it's so cute and it's so beautiful and it's just so pretty. And that is what I wish to do in this channel. That is the main core of what I do. I feel like now that I'm in a position wherein I can create, I want to share it and, hopefully make people feel something. Well, it's funny because I spent a lot of time thinking of what name I should use, and I was pretty final that I don't want to be using my real name. So I asked myself, what is this all about? I wanted a name that would remind me of what and why I'm here for. And tada! Creative Things and Feelings was born. When overthinking, doubts, and these creative blocks started creeping in, I would just look at my username and be like, oh yeah, I forgot. I can share creative things and feelings in here, whatever creative things and feelings that I have. Okay, fun fact, I actually went to art school in college and got a degree in animation. I was just so drawn to storytelling, and with animation, there are just no limitations, which is so fun. But, anyways, yeah, I never got to really use that degree. My first job was actually in a theater. I was designing posters and doing social media for theater plays, theater shows. I did that for a total of 6 months when I realized I am not built for a 9 to 5. So I immediately went freelancing afterwards. I was taking in creative jobs that were really interesting to me and that taught me new skills. So I did a lot of production work for digital ads and films. I also worked as a field photographer and videographer during events. Editing videos, I also illustrated children's books. Then, after freelancing, I opened an arts and craft shop in my hometown, closed it down, and now here we are. One consistent thing that I noticed that I tried doing was to make art and occasionally sell them on the side. Throughout all the freelancing and the working journey, I've always been making art on the side and trying to sell them on the side. I was never really too confident about my art in the past though, up until just a few years ago. A lot of healing has happened, and I guess it's just really the realization throughout the years that somehow I always end up creating using my hands. And instead of resisting that, trying to make myself do other things, I choose to really fully embrace it this time. I do not really want to waste my time so much doing things that I'm not really passionate about, and I think that just comes with age probably, but yeah. I think it's also something that started as a child. I really like playing and making things with clay, and the fact that I can imitate all objects, living and non living, in clay form using my two hands in different patterns and colors that I wish. Then, as I grew older, I started learning and exploring more of pottery and learning that it is nature, basically mud that you turn into something functional or beautiful, is something that really captured my heart. I've always been drawn, connected, and inspired by nature, and so the process of ceramics is something that really aligned. There's just this lovely feeling I feel inside when I'm doing clay, like the heartbreak and the growth and the learnings that I get, someone gets throughout the whole every step of the way of the ceramics process. It's just very valuable. I find it cool that it never really crossed my mind to try to pursue ceramics up until last year. I was scrolling through a bunch of old photos and saw a lot of ceramic works, and I realized that I did make a lot of ceramic pieces in the past. Then that's when it hit me, hey, I've actually been making with clay ever since. It was such an aha moment. It's one of those things you truly love doing, but you don't really notice until you do notice, if you know what I'm saying. I realized my connection to clay has been with me far longer than I realized and evolved organically over time. I did my first ceramics workshop back in the Philippines, I believe, around 8 years ago. I did an intro to clay and then a hand building course. I never really continued formally after that up until last year when I signed up for an open studio. It was a full circle moment. I found myself in a city that has a big ceramic scene, and it all just happened. I guess it's also a lot of the knowing on what I truly want doing and would want to invest my time on. Okay, other hobbies. Well, I like spending my time reading books. I am so done with self help books though this year. I told myself I'm just gonna read more fiction and probably biographies. My current read is The Midnight Library, and I've been enjoying it so far. It is a very easy read, although the first few parts were making me depresso, and I think that's just a normal thing when a person who feels deeply, aka me, reads novels or like fictional books, and yeah, it happens too when I watch movies. So I do love traveling. I love exploring different cities, different places, countries, different cultures. I'm trying to learn a different language this year. I actually speak two languages and one dialect. I don't know if that makes sense, but like since I grew up in the province, I speak Kapampangan, I speak Tagalog, and then I speak English. So this year I want to speak more languages. I do speak a little bit of the languages in the places I've been to, but only very basic words. For example, Demakasi in Bahasa, Indonesia. Bagus means beautiful. Anyways, hobbies. We're talking about hobbies. So I do have fun cooking. It is sort of like a similar feeling when I do clay. I have fun cooking, baking. I really like experimenting with different flavors. I like it when my tongue tastes something really like, oh wait, wow. Sometimes I get amazed at how I still get to taste different flavors. Isn't that amazing? It's like smelling a new scent that you didn't know existed. It's like that, I guess, with cooking and with experimenting with recipes and flavors. And I do like working out, but I feel like everyone works out. I don't know. I don't really know. But hobbies, I guess if you ask me, I do like trying new stuff. So yeah, I think I'm done with this question. Am I an introvert or an extrovert? Okay, well, I guess I could be both. If I am meeting you for the first time, I could seem really introverted. I am the type of person who needs a little bit of a warm up, especially if we're meeting for the first time. But if I do get really close to you, I could be extremely extroverted and talk nonstop. There are very few instances though wherein I meet someone and you know that the vibe is just right. If you get what I'm saying. and we could just, talk and instantly click. And those are very few instances. So it really depends, but I am a huge vibe checker. That is for sure. My art process is a continuous, non-linear journey of getting to know myself over and over, stripping and unlearning layers that aren't mine. So I did the artist way twice in 2023 and then last year, and it has helped me a lot as an artist. I used to exhaust myself trying to come up with ideas, and spending 4 years in art school made me see art as something very technical. I became so focused on creating concepts, following steps, making sure that the rules are followed. And it was more about doing it great, doing it right, than doing it to fully express. All these limitations also surfaced because I was just so concerned of stuff like, what brand of paint am I using? Is my paper the right GSM? Oh my god, I can't paint because I don't have a primer. What kind of lens or camera will I be using? I know that all of these are actually helpful, but then at the same time, they just made me think more than actually show up, do, and experiment with what I have and just really have fun with making art. I have been on this journey of unlearning a lot of that, and that is where the artist's way helped a lot. Creating to me now is more tapping into what is inside me that is screaming to be expressed in whatever form that feels right. I get inspiration from within rather than having to come up with them. Spend so much time trying to look for Pinterest inspirations. Instead, I ask myself, how would I create this in a fun, expressive way with what I have? I love this line by Julia Cameron that says, "We ourselves are creations, and we in turn are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. It is our job to do the work, not to judge the work." This is the mindset that I follow when it comes to my creative process now. I follow the compass within. I show up with honesty and less judgment. Well, I don't. I slow down and do something that I like. I do something that will make me feel good. On days where I feel low or uninspired, I find self care to be really helpful. Whether it's like taking a long hot shower, putting on a facial mask. I really like putting on facial masks. There's just this instant, I feel good feeling, lighting candles, journaling, putting on some nice outfit, or cooking myself a good meal. Those are all my hacks when I feel uninspired or motivated. One thing that I also find really helpful that is instant is movement. When I feel uninspired, low, unmotivated, I just move my body. Even if it's, I don't need to go to the gym, but any movement wherever I am, especially if I'm really feeling low and it's like, I don't want to go to the gym, I'm feeling low. I just stand up in the couch or whatever and put on some tunes, dance, just move my body freely. I find that really helpful. Also, another hack when I need motivation is going outside. Like, just go outside. Go anywhere, go somewhere. Whether it's a walk around your street, walk around the city, a train ride, people watching, bird watching, sit by a park, eat something, drink a smoothie by the park. I'm pretty sure if you do those, just step outside, feel the wind on your face, you're gonna get some sort of inspiration. It's just impossible for you not to catch something, like some sort of motivation or inspiration. I believe inspiration is everywhere and is very abundant if we just stop, look, and notice. I also love watching the sunset and just like be really amazed just because it's so beautiful and it just like changes every minute. The moment you're watching it, it's just constantly moving and changing. I always say that it is really like a beautiful light art show that is free every day and is different every day and is free for everyone. So you should go watch the sunset. Wow, there is actually a lot, but I guess one that stands out the most is to just start. Just create. Create fearlessly, create boldly, and have fun. Execute that idea in your head without hesitation, without overthinking it. If it is something that really speaks to you, I learned that it is also something that you cannot avoid. It will always be there and it will always keep on knocking inside you. You're gonna make art that you think is bad or ugly, and you're gonna make art that you're really gonna love. Just keep creating anyways. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just start with what you have, where you are. Just create. Fully express yourself if you wish. Do not be afraid to show all different sides of you. I feel like I'm just a lot of things, and I'm just so into a lot of things. Before, my mindset was like, oh, I'm an illustrator, so I thought I am allowed to only show my illustrations. I am not allowed or supposed to show me expressing myself through dancing or through my singing or through my writing. And I realized, no, I'm not supposed to limit myself, so don't limit yourself. Embrace all of it. Embrace all of you. One more thing is to not compare. Just stop it. Don't compare. There is an abundant space and possibilities for everyone. The world is huge. And I guess I'll end it with one more thing. This is also inspired by the artist's way. It is way more harder to not create than to start showing up, start creating, and share it out there. Put it out there. So, yeah, this is your sign to start creating. Create whatever, create from within. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just start.